Hey guys, welcome back. Now, we have just finished the first half of the year, and what a crazy time it's been for crypto. The crypto market exploded out of the gates, tripling in size, only to then crash back down over 50%. And remember, this is only just the first half of the year. So the question now is this bear market over, and can we see the crypto market begin building back up from here? Well, the famous Wyckoff chart is indicating that we may have just seen the bottom. More on that in a bit. Okay, so I've got some great things to show you guys, and we'll be looking at asset class performance for the first half of the year, and we'll take a look at stocks, bonds, gold, crypto, and we'll see how everything has performed. We'll then take a look at the Wyckoff charts. Richard Wyckoff was a very famous trader on Wall Street, and his charts are indicating that we may have just seen the bottom. And we'll finish up with the biggest crypto news of the week. And the crypto developments are still coming in fast and furious. As always, if you do find anything useful in the video, then drop a like, always appreciated. Okay, so we've just completed the first half of 2021, and we can now see how everything has performed. Ready? Let's do this. First up, we have asset class performance for the first half of 2021. And we're going to take a look at gold, bonds, cash, property, stocks, commodities, and crypto. Starting with gold. So gold is the ultimate safe haven, and in times of uncertainty and money printing, this is the place to be, right? Well, not exactly. Gold is down -6% so far this year. Bonds, and we're looking at the IEF ETF, which is the 7 to 10 year bond, and this has also dropped -3%. Cash is always flat, so nothing for cash. Property is having an amazing year, on average up 10%. Stocks, and this is the S&P 500, and so far this year up 16%, which is excellent considering it's just the first half of the year. Commodities are doing really well, so this is up 32%, and it's mainly oil that has rebounded, that's dragging this basket of commodities up. And this is the commodities index, the GSCI, and then crypto is up just under 80%. So again, crypto is leading the charge. And remember, we do have to remove inflation from all of these. So if we're going from the government CPI, then take off 4% off everything. However, if we go from the Fed's current debasement of money, which is closer to 20%, then you would need to remove 20% off each one, which means it's only the commodities index and also crypto that is truly keeping up with the currency debasement. So gold, the safe haven that's meant to do well in times of uncertainty and money printing, really isn't performing the way it should. And then we have crypto, which even though it's crashed down 50% from its all-time highs, is still outperforming everything else by quite a big margin. Okay, so next up we'll be looking at the Wyckoff charts. Now, Wyckoff has been doing the rounds recently, but what exactly is it? Well, it actually has a very interesting story. Richard Wyckoff was a trader on Wall Street, and over the years he became aware of a repeating pattern, and it was how the institutional investors was able to keep taking money off the retail investors. And he went on to publish a book called The Real Rules of the Game, where he showed how the smart money was taking money off the dumb money. So here is a slimmed down, simplified version. Check it out. So this is the guy. This is Richard Wyckoff, and he was born all the way back in 1873. So this goes back quite a long way. And he took his first job on Wall Street at the tender age of only 15 years old, and he worked his way up, became a trader. From there, he went on to start multiple businesses and also a magazine. And the Wyckoff method basically was all about how the big institutional smart money was constantly taking the dumb money off the retail investors. So there's lots to the Wyckoff method, but let's just take a look at two of his biggest charts. The first one is his distribution schematic, and the basics of this is that after we have this huge run-ups, huge big bull markets, we reach up to the buying climax, and this is where we draw in the resistance line here. It's then followed by this automatic reaction, and this is where we draw in the support line here, and it creates this trading range where it basically bounces up and down, and this is where the smart money is distributing or selling the money over to the retail investor. And we get to this point where it starts breaking down and it shows the signs of weakness before it goes into a big crash. And the next chart is the accumulation schematic, which basically is the opposite thing. So after a huge crash and the prices come crashing down, we get to this selling climax. And this is where the support line is drawn in. It's then followed by this automatic rally here, and this is where the resistance line gets drawn in, and then we go into again this trading range where there's a lot of up and down choppy movements. Now, one of the big things to notice here is this spring event. So the spring event is where there's a crash below the support line, which is a bit of a bear trap, where people panic, and this is probably the last chance where the institutional money will be buying its accumulation before it begins to build back up. It breaks through these resistance lines, which is the signals of strength, and it goes on to the next cycle. And now let's take a look at how this is related to what's going on right now. So this is the chart of the Bitcoin price. This is 2021 from here, and we had this big epic run up to the buying climax. So I've drawn in the resistance and support lines here. Let me just bring in the Wyckoff chart, and you can see this is, to be fair, strangely correlated. So we have this big run up here. It goes into this trading range, which is what it's done. It even just broke through once, which is what happened here. And the theory is that this is where the smart money is distributing over to the retail investor before it goes into this big crash down. And this then leads us to the second part. And let me just bring in, this is the accumulation schematic. So you can see we have this big drop down here, a big drop down here to the selling climax. We even had this automatic rally, and the trading range, again, it's eerily similar. But what I was going to point out was this spring event here, where it breaks below the support line. There is a quick rebound, but from there, it begins to then build up and then signal the next bull market. So the main point here is, did we just have this spring event last week? Because if so, then the bull market could be back on track. My personal thoughts on Wyckoff and technical analysis in general is that although it may be useful for analyzing the past, it can still never consistently tell you what's going to happen in the future. Remember, even guessing, you will be right half the time. Charts are a great way to look at patterns, and they are quite fun, but in reality they only work until the next big news story comes out, which sends the market up or down 30%, and this is something that charts can never be able to predict. So how useful is technical analysis? Well, I'll leave that for you to decide. But those Wyckoff charts do match up pretty well to what's going on right now. So let's see if the bottom has actually been made. Okay, on to my favorite stuff, which is the fundamentals. And this is what has been going on in the crypto markets this week. Check it out. Starting with something that I actually covered last week, but this isn't just the news of the week. For me, this was news of the month, if not news of the year. So I thought I would add it again. And this is the adoption curve of the internet versus crypto. And it basically shows that people are adopting crypto faster than the internet, which is crazy. And if this carries on, then crypto will get to 1 billion users about 5 to 6 years before the internet did. So this is definitely something worth paying attention to, and why I've included it again. First big news of the week was a partnership that's going to bring crypto to 650 banks. So there's a problem right now with banks as people are emptying their bank accounts and the money's moving over to exchanges. And this partnership with a digital asset management firm is going to enable people to buy and sell crypto directly from their bank account. This means it could bring crypto to 24 million new people across 650 banks, as the banks are seeing one of the biggest outflows from depositors moving money from banks over to exchanges like Coinbase. And remember, banks need your money in their account because this is what they loan out to make money off. A new German law has just been brought into effect, which means that special funds can now invest up to 20% of their assets into crypto. And the new law, which was Germany's Fund Location Act, which means that this Spezialfonds or special funds can now invest up to 20%. And this means that if they allocated the full amount, this is valued at about $400 billion that can now enter the crypto market. And big news from the UK, we have our Financial Conduct Authority, which has stopped Binance from operating in the UK. But when we dig a little deeper, according to Binance, this actually was just about the Binance Markets Limited division, which is a separate entity from Binance.com. So they are saying that the FCA's notice will have no impact from people using Binance.com. However, being in the UK myself, they have suspended people from being able to deposit and withdraw pounds using bank transfer. So this is basically still going on right now and yet to be resolved. We have the El Salvador airdrop of $30 in Bitcoin to every adult citizen. So basically every Salvadorian adult who downloads the government's Bitcoin app is eligible to get $30 worth of Bitcoin. And if you put all this together, this means the government will be creating up to $195 million worth of Bitcoin. And as the founder of Binance said, 6 million people added into the crypto ecosystem in one go. Very clever. This month, we have a new event that's being put on called The B Word. And this is going to be hosted by Cathie Wood of ARK Invest and Jack Dorsey of Twitter and Square. And they're putting on this event for how institutions can embrace Bitcoin. And speaking of Cathie Wood and ARK Invest, she knows how profitable an ETF can be, and she's only gone and filed for a dedicated Bitcoin ETF. And she now joins the growing list of companies all trying to get the first US Bitcoin ETF. In fact, this is now how the list looks. Just look at how many companies are trying to get through either a Bitcoin or Ethereum ETF. And the SEC keep postponing, but it's only a matter of time until a whole bunch of these ETFs get approved. And for all Ethereum fans, recently the active addresses for Ethereum has now just passed Bitcoin. A very interesting event worth noting. And finally, crypto is getting huge in India. Even gold-obsessed Indians are now pouring billions into crypto. And basically the daily trading has now gone up nearly 900% in just the last year. And so we saw that even though the crypto market has crashed down over 50%, it's still outperforming every other major asset class so far this year. Richard Wyckoff was a very famous trader on Wall Street, and he created the Wyckoff method. And his accumulation and distribution charts are matching up pretty closely to what's going on right now. And if he's correct and the spring event happened, then the bull market could be back on track. But when it comes to predicting the future price, take any technical analysis chart with a pinch of salt. And the news keeps pouring in on crypto developments. We have banks that are beginning to bleed money out of people's accounts and onto crypto exchanges. This has led to a new partnership in the US, which means 650 banks will be able to offer 35 million customers the ability to buy and sell crypto from their bank accounts. ARK investors joined the growing list of companies that are all trying to get this Bitcoin ETF live in the US. And this month we have the B-Word event hosted by Cathie and Jack Dorsey, and also Ethereum's London upgrade, all happening this month. So there you are guys, as always lots going on, and just to say then, if you found anything useful in the video, drop a like, and a big thank you to everyone who does. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, then click below and join us. We're now coming up to 100,000 subscribers, so you guys are awesome. Okay, cheers guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.